All right, here we go with the Wednesday, September 6th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Going to talk a great deal about Irma here as the latest edition of the video rolls along. So let's start right with the tropical update. And before I delve into Irma, I did want to mention that there's a tropical depression down here in the Gulf of Mexico. That one's going to kind of make the loop and head back into Mexico. And then this is Jose out here east of Irma. That's going to become a hurricane and kind of follow a little bit north of Irma's track. But let's focus on Irma here. And boy, what a horrible situation this is for the northeastern Caribbean this morning. Let me see if I can flex my northeastern Caribbean geography muscles here. We had Irma directly impact Barbuda. That's Barbuda right there. And as I cut the video, it's began to move directly over St. Barthélemy. Next up, this is St. Martin, and this is Anguilla. And all of these islands I just mentioned directly impacted by Irma. Down the road, you get into the Virgin Islands and eventually the Turks and Caicos. I think this is going to stay north of Puerto Rico, not by much, but probably north of Puerto Rico. This is the 5 a.m. advisory on Irma, 914 millibar pressure. The wind, 185 miles per hour, Category 5. An amazingly intense hurricane. Now again, this is Puerto Rico right here. And I think Irma stays a little north, at least the core of Irma, a little north of Puerto Rico, a little north of Hispaniola there, so a little north of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. But there's the Turks and Caicos, and this will probably be a direct impact for some of the islands there in the Turks and Caicos. Here's the Bahamas. We'll see. The northern Bahamas, at least in the first westward pass, probably going to miss out on the core of Irma. But we've been talking for a long time now. I've been mentioning this right-hand turn that's going to occur. Now, this is the official National Hurricane Center forecast, and all the modeling is shifted eastward. But out of respect to the previous forecast and the potential for another adjustment westward in the modeling, the Hurricane Center, their forecast here lies on the western side of the track guidance. But this is their forecast, and I'll show you some of the more specific models in just a second. Here we go with the watches and warnings. Purple shaded areas, all under hurricane warnings. That goes all the way up through Puerto Rico, the northern side of Hispaniola, into the Turks and Caicos. The yellow shaded areas, those are hurricane watches. Now here's the European model, and I'll show you a different perspective of this coming up. But again, this is the track a little bit north of Puerto Rico. Some massive swells, though, coming from Puerto Rico, and a lot of wind and rain, too. Turks and Caicos looks bad as we get into tomorrow night and Friday. North of Cuba, a little bit, but then here's that right-hand turn. So, taken at face value, the European turns this just prior to hitting South Florida, and then kind of paralleling the coast, almost a Matthew-like track from last year, and then it continues north from there. And there's the spaghetti charts on this. So we've lost most of the Gulf of Mexico track possibilities. I kind of had a hunch this eastern track would verify, and it's looking more likely this morning. So let me show you some of the more detailed modeling. Well, let me get that out of the way here for you. Let's go to the GFS. This was the 0Z run of the GFS. Okay, so let me go here first. So there is Irma making its closest pass to Florida on that particular model. There it goes up the east coast, or off the east coast of Florida. And then let's see, I guess I didn't really put a... Oh, here we go. And so there's Irma on the GFS moving right into the South Carolina coast on Monday. So again, Charleston right here, you get down to Hilton Head, Hunting Island, and then Savannah down here. A little bit further out in time, GFS pushes us into the Carolinas and continues to lift northward from there Monday night into Tuesday morning. Okay, the European model, these images courtesy of Weatherbell, by the way. European model, it's a little slower, but the track idea is remarkably similar. So I think you can see this. Let me see if I can resize this a little bit. All right, so there you go. There's the European just off-centered the southeastern Florida coast. All right, and here is that model's perspective of this approaching the South Carolina coast. And again, these tracks would be, between the GFS and the European, would be very, very similar. Northward into the Carolinas thereafter. It's a little slower again. Now, good. This is maybe 6-12 hours slower, but the bottom line is the track ideas are very, very similar between those two models. So let me go back here. Okay, we'll go to the Hurricane Center forecast once again, and just keep in mind that as we look at this, anywhere in that cone of uncertainty certainly is a possibility. That's why you have the cone there. So don't focus on the exact point, but I'm leaning toward this eastern scenario. I'm leaning, as I have been from the get-go, that I don't think this is going to get in the Gulf of Mexico. So at westernmost, probably the Florida Peninsula, maybe just paralleling the Florida coast and heading generally up toward the Carolina coast. We'll see. Still need to watch all this very carefully. And we'll keep you up to date, of course. All right, go back to our weather. 80s for highs yesterday in the Triad, 80s for highs in much of the Charlotte region outside of the mountains. It hit 90 in Wadesboro. This morning, there's the radar. Some thunderstorms closer to the coast. And we're looking at some showers in the mountains and the foothills. That'll expand in coverage. Here's the high-resolution modeling. Kind of a showery day. Some showers, a few embedded thunderstorms as a cold front is gradually working through the region. So clouds, some showers, not a whole lot of temperature movement for the I-85 corridor today. And then behind the front, the cooler air settles in. Look at these lows tonight. What a nice, refreshing overnight period coming up. And we have some just beautiful fall-like weather coming tomorrow into the weekend. Tomorrow, sunshine in full force. Friday, sunshine in full force. It'll be the same for the weekend. There's your Thursday highs. Friday highs look like that. And the weekend will be very similar before any potential impacts from Irma would arrive by later Monday. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.